Chapter 1: Knowing without understanding how. If you look deeply enough and explore this topic thoroughly, you will likely find that there is nothing more interesting in our world than our intuition. Of course, being interested in something is a very personal issue and a matter of taste. And each person will be mostly intrigued by what he finds most exciting and fascinating. Yet, I do believe that in the core of many people's true curiosity exists something like Albert Einstein said, the only real valuable thing is intuition.
And what can be possibly more interesting and fascinating than an endless source of information that always precedes its time and that is in everyone's possession, with no need for any kind of computer or learning process? What can be more stimulating for the thinking, feeling, and open-minded person who asks to learn about life's mysteries than this stream of brilliant ideas that comes from nowhere and is able to ignite revolutions and change courses, both consciously and practically, in all of life's aspects?
Despite all of these and many more reasons which I believe make intuition the most attractive concept intellectually and emotionally, I encourage each individual to ask himself these questions. What subject do I passionately want to learn more about? What do I want to explore more deeply? About what concept can I uncover more secrets and travel unpredicted, uncharted paths? In most cases, we will eventually get to the same place. We will meet, after some trial and error, at the road that responds to modern-day man's wish to understand what he knows exists, yet finds hard to grasp, even in small bits.
I have been blessed with a combination of innate abilities and life events that lead most of my mental resources to the task of getting as close as possible to intuition, to its rules and modes of action. I collaborate with my intuition, investigate it, make a living out of it, write books about almost every topic through its guidance, develop means to improve people's lives with it, and lead people in full partnership with my intuition. My intuition is my closest friend, my most reliable and accurate mentor, my primary source of knowledge, my inspiration and hope in life that force me to cope with some of the greatest struggles imaginable.
Intuition is a hard thing to describe or define, especially because it doesn't fit into any common logical platform. Its rules and laws are different from any other system we are used to, and its mode of action includes a serious amount of mystery, surprise, and uncertainty. We cannot control intuition nor predict its messages in advance. Still, we're here. In this book, we are going to follow as much as possible the roots of intuition, its logical and emotional connections, and most importantly, the way to make it handy, practical, friendly, and easy to connect with. This is what we're here for. This is what I am here for, at your service, to explain the unexplainable.
Intuition is a way to know things without understanding how we came to know them. What we have used to acknowledge, learn, and meet about the concept of knowing is usually related to what we have experienced through learning, internalization, and actual experience. Usually when somebody claims to know something, we can assume that this individual has gone a long way in studying, exploring, and diving well into this topic, and that is what has made him somebody who knows.
But this is not how it works with intuition. Intuition is a state of knowing what it is based on no research, learning, consulting, reading, or discussion. Intuition has no reference or backup. Intuition is not dependent on other people's quotes or on what other people have claimed, discovered, proven, or spoken about. As we begin, though, we immediately encounter some conceptual problems related to definitions and conventions. Many people will wonder how I use the concept of knowing in my description of intuition, which in fact is regarded as a state that cannot be perceived as true, as long as it is not clearly proven that its claims are absolutely correct. How can I address a gut feeling with such certainty? Is this certainty supposed to be reserved only for things where there are no questions or doubts about their validity?
Well, many of these kinds of problems await us along the way because, as mentioned above, intuition works in a different framework than what we are accustomed to think, assume, or deduce. We have become programmed by what is currently known as scientific information that rejects all claims and concepts that do not follow its terms for being valid, truthful, or realistic. We will address this faulty phenomenon later, but for now, we need to make some substantial inroads so that our minds are ready to deal with this collision of ideas and standards.
I do wish for the readers of this book to go through some questionable moments about such problems that will surely arise. I also hope that these readers will keep walking this path despite the given obstacles, because there is no way to dive into the depths of intuition without challenging the current concepts of knowledge and knowing. These contemporary concepts limit the individual's ability to listen to his intuition and get the precious help and advice that will naturally evolve.
There is no way one can describe how intuition works and plays its role without using what may be the most important yet controversial word that makes all the difference: knowing. When we connect well to our intuition, when it actually happens, we are in a state of knowing. When we are intuitive, we know what we know, and all doubts and confusion disappear. This is a state of knowing without understanding how we came to know what reached our mind and what we've realized we suddenly know. Yet, if we start doubting, our connection to intuition suddenly stops.
I'm afraid this word may imply that we are treading on very fine grounds for a serious intellectual discussion. This may cause some of you to lose hope at this very early stage of our journey, and you may become too skeptical about developing a better understanding of intuition.
Yet, I have no intention of making even the slightest deviation of the reader's journey. The only one I believe will deliver the keys to open the doors to intuition's laws and secrets. For us to get closer to this kingdom of endless knowledge, we must change paradigms and start speaking a different language. This means giving rise to a language in which there is no compulsive need to prove everything and no over-reliance on old concepts of human intelligence that reflect a non-flexible and non-creative world. We need to move into a world where we can acquire depth and maintain it in a dynamic state.
Those of you readers who feel, even if it's not that clear quite yet, that I might lead you to some interesting places where your intuition becomes a friend and ally, will eventually win treasures of knowledge without understanding how it came to your consciousness. It will be yours in time because it is your private and exclusive asset, which you have learned to forget and neglect over time. Once you free yourself from old restrictive beliefs and assumptions and become ready to play, explore, and try, it will happen.
On the other hand, those of you who feel this is a loose and poorly established process will remain in shelters in which knowledge and knowing are exclusively dependent on outside sources that are regarded as clever or reliable.
Intuition is not something we prove, although its validity is pretty easy to demonstrate over time. I face intuition's accuracy a few times per day and am not so amazed by this because I know. I know that I know. Those of you who deep in your heart know, or at least believe, that knowing without understanding how we came to know is possible, are warmly welcome to join me and find out how this strange option becomes our everyday reality.